All right, so we're gonna talk about flats. You have to do these for portfolio. I mean, technically you don't, but if you show them that you have like a better perspective on like the technical side of design, then they're gonna be like, oh, that's a shoe-in for exception, because in the industry, whenever you do a sketch like this, the flat figure or this figure, when you do the flat sketches, it shows the sample maker how to make it. So even though this is just like the aesthetic rendering of what the design will be, the flats are going to show all the details and they're not in color. So I know, Kathleen, you started some, so don't feel pressured to like, oh my God, what colors am I going to use? Because really you don't need your colors just yet. We haven't started like marker rendering stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is another student's work that another girl that I mentored from another school. And this was like her mix and match stuff. So I just cleaned it up. I mean, obviously I redrew her stuff, but like where she needed top stitching or anything that needed just like some editing, I did. So you can see like kind of like that style line is repeated in the shape of the sleeves, and then like down here in the skirt's pleated, there's pleating in the pants. But yeah, so disregard that for right now, but you have to understand there is a distinction between your figure drawing versus your flat figure. So notice this is like really boxy and not like the cutest looking. You've got all the seams, like this is the center front, this would be center back. So where you've got like kind of this panty line would be the front, where the back would be in the opposite direction. So if you're doing like bodysuits or anything, front you would cut out for the leg, and back we would like scoop for the butt. Yeah, so let's move on. I'll do flats for this pink drawing, just since it's already in color. And I do have a lot of markers at school, so worst case scenario, you can always borrow those if we continue with virtual. So this is important. And you started doing your flats in pencil, which is completely fine. We might clean those up either in Photoshop, or you can always redraw them in pen.
Okay. Oh, that sounds hard.
Yeah, you can usually use like a really fine tip Sharpie, or because with ballpoint pens, you know, like regular writing pens, sometimes the line separates if you look really, really closely, like in your notebooks and stuff. But don't sweat that part just yet. So this figure I had done with like a you know, hand on the hip pose. You don't have to do your flats with poses, but keep in mind this whole outfit is basically symmetrical. So if you put a line down the center, you would have the same thing on either side. So this is gonna save you a lot of time, Kathleen, because I know for a fact you drew out the whole thing. Instead, you can just draw one side. One side of your design. I think I did this a little not far over enough, but that's okay. The good thing is you're working in pencil, you can always make edits. So I'm working a little farther away from the actual figure. So you see like the shoulder seam is coming up over the flats figure. Even for armhole, I'm gonna work a little bit away, because on my figure drawing, the shoulders are a little bit dropped, where on a natural figure it would probably be, you know, like on a t-shirt, would come in a little bit closer. So the waist of this design gets a little tight too. And all of these lines in here, this is like, think of it almost like a belt or like a waistline. So you know, if you have something that's kind of short-waisted, you can end the hem there. flare out the hips. And then the sleeves, I've got like this kind of bishop sleeve, kind of puffy.
Oh my God, Jessica.
Oh, hi.
Where's Brian?
I don't know. All right, I gotta put in my darts and stuff, pockets. But I'm recording, so I can just post this later. All right, so that's one half of the jacket flat. But remember, there's no body underneath the flat. So I'm gonna actually draw a little bit of the hem to the back of it. So now that I've got just one half, and because that jacket is mirrored down the middle, I'm just gonna very lightly put in a mirror line. And clearly it's symmetrical. You can see it on her, exactly the same. I've already put in the darts and the pockets and stuff. So now what I'm gonna do is, this is the side of the paper that I was drawing on. I'm gonna fold along that center line. And I'm just gonna trace to the other side. So you have a perfectly symmetrical flat of your jacket. And it saves you all that time because you've already put all the detail and work into the other side. But just be sure that you're not doing your lines like you're etching, because then it's gonna look really, really fuzzy. And if we just take these flats that you do in pencil and just enhance them a little bit in Photoshop, as long as the lines don't look like you've painted them, then we can definitely use them. And the bottom hem edge. Pocket. But you have this figure, right? This flats figure, Kathleen?
Yeah. I have the really, I don't know if I should reprint it. It's really tiny.
What, may I see again? Oh, it's totally fine. Because these don't have to be the same size as the figure. I think I just printed it like full size so it was easier to see on camera.
Mm.
But there you have it. That's the front flat. And I can just clean it up a bit. And we can obviously go back in, take out that mirror line, clean stuff up. If there's any top stitching, and I don't know if I told you this story or I told Brian, but the first time I applied to FIT, I didn't get in because I didn't put top stitching on my sketches. Yeah.
Oh, you told me you didn't get in, but I didn't know why.
Yep. I just won't admit that, but I just did it and it's on recording, so you can use it against me in the future.
Wait, so when you don't get in, they tell you why?
No, I went to a portfolio review. Like they have like public, like it's like a public event. You bring all of your work. And I was like, oh, like, what's your critique of my portfolio? And they were like, well, you don't have top stitching, so we don't know how any of your clothing is made. And I was like, oh, okay. They're like, what does it, like, are there no hems on anything? Did you not do like any seams? And I'm like, I'll remember that for next time. So although they're not visible on this rendering, I would probably go in because I used black pen to do all that outlining. And very lightly, I'll add it to like the bottom edge of the coat, maybe the bottom edge of the hem of the pants. But the good thing is you can always make up for that on your flats. Because say you were doing like a black jacket and black pants and you don't want to see the top stitching because maybe it's like black thread on black fabric, you obviously wouldn't see it in your all black rendering. You're good, Jessica. So because this is a flat, there's no figure in it. We're gonna shade in the inside of the garment. And you don't have to do this. It's one of those extra steps that it won't hurt to have in place, okay? So that's jacket. Let's do the back view of that, because another really cool thing is Kathleen, if you have front and back views of your flats, you can do just front views of your figures if you want.
Oh my God, that's so much better.
Or option number 2, you can do front and back view on the figure and only front view of the flat. Or you could just do front view of figure and only do back view as a flat. Does that make sense? So it's like 100% less work, but the less work you give them, the less they have to base your acceptance on. Just putting that out there. But you do what you're capable of. I mean, you have the flats and the figure, they're still going to be like impressed, but it won't hurt. So like if I were submitting this as part of my portfolio, I'm really happy with my marker rendering, but now I'm going to do you hear my cat? She's like running on the floor. Yeah. She's running on the floor above me. All right, so I'm going to do y'all's least favorite thing, which is cutting these out.
Oh yeah, that's why I was like, didn't do it how you told me to do it, where I just draw on top of it, because I didn't want to cut it out.
I mean, you can always grab a second piece of tracing, or you can, which I probably could have done, was just like fold the page like this and then trace it onto the section. But the reason I like cutting them out is I like to keep them with the full length one. If you don't, you're not drawing everything together. So back view, I don't need this anymore. The only thing that I have to do is when I do the back of this jacket, I have to be sure I obviously can't see the front opening. I can't see the front pockets because those are not on the back. So I'm literally gonna place that under my tracing. I'm gonna outline just the perimeter of it. And this is gonna be a part that's probably gonna be tricky for you because you're gonna have to look up on like Pinterest or like, you know, like Saks Fifth Avenue or one of those like store websites that sells clothing. So you can see the back of the garment on a model. And then you can use that for reference because, for instance, like the collar here, because it's the back view, still the same on the top, but the back of the collar looks like that. So we're not going to have the lapels for the back. Silhouette is going to be the same. Armholes the same. There's not going to be any of this stuff down center back. Down the center back though, I might just put a seam because it's a very fitted jacket. So I just put a line down the back there. And this cat is so bad. I don't know if you can hear her galloping.
No.
Okay,
I didn't know cats can run with such power though, because my cat starts running and it's so loud.
Yeah, but my cat's also very, very, very chonky. So yeah, the whole house shakes. So with the front view, remember we had drawn a little bit of the back hem to come longer. So because I'm doing the back view of the jacket, that's the bottom edge that I'm tracing. Oh crap, you can't see it, sorry. So notice in the front, the hem is a little bit shorter, got the closure in the front. This is one of those technical things that you're gonna have to reference like real garments for, but I've got these darts in the front at the waist. I'm gonna bring them to the back too, just so that it looks, you know, kind of similar in the back. And because the pockets and my darts are there, I'm just gonna give waist darts. So like your skirt, Kathleen, the one you made at school.
Yeah.
And then I'll just trace the outline of the sleeves. And the sooner you get these done, the sooner I can make any edits. Are there any of your flats that you're having like a lot of trouble with?
The skirt, it's so hard to draw all over again.
Oh, with the ruffles.
Yeah.
All right, let me just bring that top stitching back in here. I'm gonna add some to my cuffs.
And I should do
competition. Oh,
sorry.
you go first.
For originals, I should also do flats.
You know, just for the sake of it looking consistent overall, if you decide, so let's go over your options again. You can have your front and back view on flats with your figure. You can have front view of figure with only back view of flats. You can have front and back view like full rendering with only front view, or you can have just front and back on the figure. But like I said, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm more of like telling you to do it, do flats. Because when they see it, they're gonna be like, okay, this girl understands that like you wouldn't just give a sample maker this drawing. The flats are showing them all of the, like, how is this sewn? Oh, I can't see the back of this. So I have to see that there's a seam in the back, that there's top stitching, that the sleeve in the front and the back doesn't have a seam, all of that fun stuff.
Okay.
But
no, yeah, I'll do front and back flats. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's great because your designs are so impressive that I think as long as they're rendered really nicely in marker, having the front and back, like, you know what I mean? It just kind of like simplifies all of that work for whoever's looking at it. Did you think about like colors yet?
See, I thought about some colors like while I was sketching it, but it doesn't go on my mood board, so I just have to think on that again. Because my mood board has like red and black, so
Okay.
it's like once to tell, but like then I'm like, oh, baby pink and stuff. But
Right. I mean, you can still, there's still time to add like an image that has the colors that you want. You know, you can still throw in something that's like more pastel. But I'll do a flat of your skirt front and back.
okay.
And that's the, like that high-low ruffly thing, right? Can you send me a picture?
Yeah.
Just another note about the flats. You can see that on my figure, like the waist becomes a little like tight. Don't feel like the waist of this figure dictates the waist of the pants or the waist of the jacket. Or so if it becomes, you know, more snatched in your design, then snatch it when you do your flats. Sorry, that was a lot of, yeah. Robert's like, I'm gonna be so snatched when we go back because I'm sick and I have no appetite. I'm like, you're already literally like 100 pounds.
That's why I lost so much weight. Helen, I was finally at my goal weight, which is like 95, because I don't gain weight that quickly. And after COVID, I'm back in the 80s.
Oh my God.
Which weight?
So tiny.
Yeah.
Wait, why is everyone sick right now? Like I'm sick, but that's because I took the shot, the booster, and it made me like, you know.
I have to get my booster soon. It's time.
I took it and I'm like so like,
oh no.
Yeah.
Well, just think you're gonna have like a higher immunity, you know, like if and when.
That's good because my parents took the booster like a week before I got sick and they didn't have COVID at all.
Huh. Thanks, parents.
Yeah.
All right, let me show y'all Kathleen's skirt and then we'll do a flat of that. So here she is. That's also with her corset. So this is your mix and match, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I love this.
Mine's only the skirt, that's why. I think we did the skirt and then you told me to add the corset to it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you have to use the top twice. So it'll have to be like if you do another figure that has the pants and the jacket, then you might have to style with the corset underneath and maybe the jacket has to be like open so you can see a little bit of it.
Okay.
Because they want to see how you can actually like pair all of these pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
But this is beautiful. I'm so obsessed with like this cutout idea because then it plays into your jacket.
Yeah. Oh, I need to do the flat jacket too. That's what I forgot to do.
Did you decide with the pant if you were gonna do the ruffles like these like are the tiers on the pants gonna be kind of like slanty?
Should it be? I was just thinking like straight across.
Okay. Yeah, just go look at your other pieces if there's any details from those that you want to kind of combine with the pant. But I love that idea of like maybe the ruffles can be like shorter on the pant, like so they're very what do the kids say these days? They say extra. Is that like still a thing?
I mean, I still say it, so I guess.
All right, never mind. Because all day I've been like, oh my god, I'm so old. Like, what are these kids saying today on TikTok? Anyway, all right, I am old, is what it is. So Kathleen, for that skirt, since it starts a bit low on the hip here, I'm gonna. You can even, I don't know if on your flats figure, sorry, I had printed out a different one, but essentially they're all the same. Just a little bit below waist where the hip becomes wider is where we'll have our like starting point. And then this just comes a little bit high-waisted on one side, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then we've got, is there a waistband or is it embroidery?
There is a waistband and it has embroidery on it.
Okay.
It got erased while I was doing the corset, I think.
That's okay. My pencil is just getting kind of fuzzy, so give me a second. All right. All right, so we got a waistband here. And if the camera suddenly shakes a lot, it's because I hit my head on it. I'm kind of like sitting underneath it right now. Just laugh if it happens. So it's good with the flat to really, render in the belt itself because the waistband is what's keeping that skirt onto the body. So like the one that you made in class. And because this is so much ruffles, there's so much, not necessarily weight, but so much fabric to it. Even if it's tulle, it's a lot of fabric. It's got to stay up. So we're going to draw that first tier here. And with this, you really like just do like we, it's like you're writing your name in script almost. And because it's a flat, it does not have to be crazy detailed. Like that's plenty to imply that it's a ruffle. You can put in a few of those lines that we pull up from the hem like we did in class 2. But the most important part with pants, skirts, dresses, look at your figure while you're drawing on your flats figure so that you know the proportion of everything. So you see that this is about like knee level on my flats figure. So that means that I've got a tier between this guy and
I think it kind of ends at the knee.
I think one of them might end at the knee. But if we bring that second tier so long, proportions are not gonna. So yay, Kathleen, you've got a challenge on your hands. You get to figure out how to fit 4 ruffled tiers on this flats figure that are from about the floor length. Great, more math. So forget about the knee thing. 1, 2, 3. give or
I
take.
think
And they become a little bit
it's
wider.
not symmetrical. It's because it's like one side dips lower than the other one.
Oh, we did that weird like stepping thing.
Yeah.
Girl, don't make it that complex on the flats. It's fine. Just eyeball it. We did the hem as like kind of a curvy line. And then you can go in with.
Yeah, see, this is where I got confused. How do how do they know it's a high-low?
That's a good question. So remember earlier when I had shown you on this guy that this is the inside of the garment, right? So I darkened it a little bit, and as well as the hem here, so that you have an understanding that's the back of the jacket. On the actual back view, you don't see that because those are the bits and pieces that you only see from the front. So because with this skirt, I know it's super basic, but I promise you this is enough. Don't go crazy. If they want to know about like how full the ruffles need to be, then they look at your figure drawing. So the good thing is everything comes full circle. Your rendered flat with the marker isn't for nothing, because the flat looks so basic and boring and like not that exciting. But what's going to help imply that it is high-low is that you would just color in these tiers a little bit darker. That would mean that that's the inside of the garment. So think of it almost like it's just shadowing.
Okay.
And you can get a little bit more detailed with some ruffles and stuff. I know how much you love drawing in the ruffles.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica, did you have a question earlier?
Oh yeah, but I forgot.
Well, I think
it was about competition, right?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, for competition we need to have a sketch too, right?
Yes, you're gonna need a front and back view, but you showed me the one that you worked on with Robert, right?
Yeah, so that's like already set, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much there. I mean, really, we just have to add color. You don't have to do flats for competition.
Wait, so we are doing competition? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, I thought that was.
I mean, worst case scenario, it'll be virtual. So in the past when we had competition and it was, well, in the past when we had club and it was virtual, I had machines sent to everyone. Well, set up for everyone so that you guys could take home whatever supplies you needed. So I promise you, if this, and I know it stinks. I know it's awful and COVID needs to like go to HELL, but we can still do competition as long as you guys are okay with working from home. And I'm going to try my absolute best to just instruct you over Zoom. But it's going to work out. So don't sweat it. And Kathleen, I'm going to go to mood after our meeting today. So you'll have to let me know if there's any special colors. Oh, Catherine. Oh, Jessica. I found some denim that I'll have to bring in for you because you wanted to do your whole look in denim, right?
Yeah. And then like some leather, but you keep like debating on that.
You know what? Let me see if I can find some like synthetic leather, only because it could have a little stretch. It might be a little bit easier to add in. I know Catherine, you were thinking something kind of like fleshy toned, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Kathleen, did you decide if
FCCLA?
Yes, for your puffy sleeve?
I like that, like pastel yellow color.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm gonna go there and they've got like a closet in the design room of like remnant, like extra fabric that was like from older projects. So I'll see if I can grab anything. But Jessica, I do have some denim. And you want to do what color accents?
I was thinking more like a dark denim color, not like the light, like dark.
Not light, dark.
Yeah, I don't know exactly the colors, but I just know I want it like dark.
I have this at home, but it's like more indigo. Looks really light on camera, but I promise you it's not.
It looks gray.
I know. I think I changed this. Oh, you want to know something funny? I changed the settings on Zoom because I was covered in hives today, and if I changed the white balance, it would make it look like I didn't have them. So let me turn that off. So that's real color. Anyway.
I mean, I'm gonna have to see in person to know, but you know what I mean?
It's okay. I'll bring it in. But yeah, so pastel yellow, we're thinking like a fleshy nude kind of chiffon or something very soft and drapey. And then Jessica wants dark denim. But what about your leather? Do you want to just do like black or?
I don't know, because I want to like get two color for the leather, but I don't know if I want to go with a navy blue. I meant for the jeans I want like two colors.
Okay.
But for the leather, I don't know if I wanted black or navy blue.
Okay, no worries. I mean, it's good. I'm glad that you're thinking about your options, because at least, we know now, all right, what does Jessica have in mind? We know you have your sketch and stuff. But Kathleen, one more note before I forget, because I gotta run before 2. So this is asymmetrical, right? So from the front view, the skirt goes up towards the right side. For the back view, it would be in the opposite direction, correct?
Yeah.
So you'll have to trace this flipped, and this only applies to asymmetrical garments, okay? So when you have anything doesn't have that mirror line in the center. So same idea as the coat. We're going to trace silhouettes. And la 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 la. Now we've got Kathleen's front view, back view. So although this is the back view, you don't do any shading. It really just is the shading for these tiers to imply that goes, the legs go in between this skirt and those layers. And then for the back, it would just be, still going up mirror line. Whew, that was a lot of info. So let me know if there's any questions before I run, but I recorded this, so I'll be sure to post it to Club.
Okay.